You guys may know a lot about what I watch, but there are 10 things that you guys don't know about me, and I'm going to share them with you guys today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of TvTime with Maggie. I'm Maggie, as you guys already know. Please, if you guys have not, subscribe and hit the notification button and follow me on Instagram at PinkLeoProductions. I put a lot of great content out there. Today, I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm in a different setting. As you guys can see, I'm in my bedroom. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about me because I'm going to be revamping this channel and I'm going to be talking a lot about writing and reading and really creating stories, because for a very long time we've just been consuming. I watch a lot of television, I read a lot, I watch a lot of movies, and I talk about them, but I also want to create, and I want to show you guys how best to create your own stories. So before I revamp this channel, I thought it was a great opportunity for you guys to know a little bit more about me. So here we go. I was like around maybe 10 years old when I came up with the name PinkLeo, actually. And I said that it was going to be a company where I would do whatever I wanted. I always wanted to be my own boss. And those were the things that I thought about at that time. I was thinking a lot about two things that will never change. So I will never stop loving pink, and I will never stop being a Leo because I can't change my birthday. So I combined them both, and that's how PinkLeo came about in terms of the name. And then the content, I always wanted to have like a media company. I always dreamed about having a place where I can tell stories in different ways. And then I heard about this thing called a media mogul, and I was like, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I wanted to be somebody that told stories but also help others tell their stories. I wanted to do a lot of things, but mostly it was about creating a safe environment, creative environment, where me and my friends and anybody else who wanted to join can come on board and create their own content. Obviously, it didn't pan out that way, but I'm still very much in the business of telling stories and helping others tell their own. I am a media scholar. Yes, you guys, this is the reason why I made this channel, and it's because I love talking about media. A lot of people think that media is just the news. A lot of people associate media with the press, which is very different. Media is any form of communication, modes of communication. The more elaborate forms of media are things like theater and movies and television, which are more constructed, and they do have a meaning and a purpose as to what they want to do within our society. I always loved reading and writing, and always knew that I wanted to create and tell stories. When I was in high school, I took a course in film history, and the thing that struck me the most was how we learn through storytelling. And I also wanted to be a teacher, and so I felt that media really connected two things that I love, which was creating content, creating stories, and then teaching and having people learn anything from science, math, everything. Everything is a story. Everything is media. I talk in this channel a lot about representation in the media, but in future videos, I'm going to be talking about creating media and creating content and creating stories. And what does that take? I always say that you are what you consume. The stories that you are consuming right now, whether it is here on YouTube, on television, on you reading a book, really impact who you are, what you're putting in your brain, the characters that you relate to the most. There's a reason why that is, and I'm going to be exploring all of these things in future videos. But that's my background. I went to Hunter College here in New York City. I did media studies with a minor in linguistics, and I fell in love with storytelling and teaching and writing, and I've been doing all of those things ever since. If you guys are interested in watching a little bit more about what I do have a blog, which I'm gonna link down below, and a podcast talking about TV that made us, and some short films that I have written as well. I'm actually an immigrant. I came to this country when I was 3 years old. I was actually born in the Dominican Republic, and I love being Dominican. I'm very, very proud of my heritage. I feel like the more I learn about Dominican Republic and its history, the more I fall in love with it. It's a great representation of the mixture that happens, particularly in a lot of Latin American countries, between the Native Americans that were there, the African slaves that were brought in by the Spaniards, and then the Spaniards. And that mixture of the fusion of all three cultures is very present in the Dominican Republic, and is very present in our history, in our food, and the way that we dress, and the way that we speak, and the way that we do our hair. Everything, all three are present, and it's a beautiful mixture. What really is Dominican? Dominicans are a fusion of all these three things. And again, the more I learn about it, the prouder I am of being part of this fusion of all these different cultures mixed in together. Some of you guys may know this, but I actually came from another channel. I actually have another channel here on YouTube. It was called the Feminist Tea Party. Every single week, one of my best friends and I will drink tea and talk about women and women issues in the media. It was one of my favorite things that I've ever done, that I ever created, because it was a very cathartic experience. It was something that my friend and I did anyways. We would always talk about not just television, but what did they do with the women in television, and what did they do with women in these books, and what was happening in the news. And at that time, you know, until to this day, we're constantly fighting for things that should be our rights. And so this channel became kind of like a cathartic experience for both of us to just sit and talk, but also talk in front of you guys. I loved the channel. I did a bunch of great episodes. One on witches and witchcraft, which I absolutely love. I did one on anime and magical girls. We did an episode all about the women in Game of Thrones. It was just amazing, and I love doing that. I love doing it with my friend, and I'm gonna put the link down below for you guys to watch. Guys, I'm not wearing my Hufflepuff shirt because of anything else other than I'm a proud Hufflepuff. Yes, I may have been born on Harry Potter's birthday, but I'm actually a Hufflepuff. Bringing people together is a really great quality that all Hufflepuffs share, and I'm very proud to be part of that group. Though I am Dominican and I love me some merengue, I also really love alternative and punk rock music. I love rock and roll. I love rock and alternative. I don't know why, but that's my favorite genre of music. One of my favorite bands that I love listening to, particularly when I write, is Florence and the Machine. But in recent years, I've gone more into things like the black violin, where there's like a mixture of sound, and you can kind of create a story around just the mixture of like the classical music with the hip hop. I really, really enjoyed their music. One of my favorite shows is Charmed, not the new one, the 1998 version of Charmed. It is probably my favorite show. It was extremely impactful, and it still is very impactful in not just my writing, but just me in general. As a young woman, I think that even though it didn't have a lot of diversity, I believe that the way that the characters were constructed were just very authentic and genuine. There was just something about being part of a magical community where these women were allowed to be themselves. They dated, they went through jobs and different failures, they went through motherhood, all of those things with just this added bonus of being witches. If you watch it now, it may seem a little bit melodramatic, but for a 9-10-year-old Maggie, when I first started watching the show, it was extremely impactful. It was just one of those shows that represented the type of women that I wanted to be like and that I wanted to be surrounded by. Some people describe me as the mom of the group. I definitely identify with someone like Monica from Friends. Not the cleaning, obsessive cleaning part, but definitely the organizer and the hostess of the parties, and just making sure that everybody is safe and that they're having a good time and that they have whatever it is that they need. Finally, you guys, I am a woman that loves to empower other women. I am an intersectional feminist, and that's a very big component to my personality and the stories that I create. Everything that I talk about here and on most of my other platforms have to do with how can we be more inclusive in terms of race and gender and disability, immigration status. How can we bridge the gap between all of those things? Those things are a part of our identity that we cannot erase while also being a woman. So there you guys have it. Those are a few things that you guys did not know about me. I hope that you identify with at least one of those things and keep coming back to my channel. Please subscribe, hit that notification button, because this channel is about to be revamped and reconstructed into something that is not just talking about media and interpreting media, but how can you create your own.